What's going on, guys? C Jarvis 32 here. A little less groggy and a little bit more put together than last night. um, but if you didn't see the last video, this is going to be the first in the series of video game reviews that I want to do. And the first one I'm starting, if you can't tell by the title, is Final Fantasy VII, the remake that just came out not too long ago, about a week ago now, I think. Um, and the format I want to do is sorry for the shaky cam. The format I want to do is when I'm done playing through a portion of it, or when I've played through it, or however long I played, I want to get on here and at least record my thoughts. I don't know if I'll post every single time, but just recording what I think and how I think it's going. Um, and so I'm like I said, I'm about 4 hours in. Over the past like 3 or 4 days, I've played about 4 hours, and I really like it so far. It's I've never played Final Fantasy, at least not where I could remember it, um, and so far it's really fun and it's really enjoyable. You play as Cloud Strife, and you the game opens kind of with like a this is like an overview of the planet you're on, kind of I believe, and you're hired as a mercenary for this group called Avalanche, is what I've gathered. Um, and he's just hired as the muscle, just to help them break into this facility, the Mako or Mako. I've heard other people, when I've looked up Final Fantasy VII stuff, they refer to it as a Mako reactor, um, but in the game they say Mako, I believe. So either way, they break into this reactor, and it's like the substance that they are bringing up from the planet, and it's killing the planet, and um, they're they're wanting to stop that from happening. Um, and Cloud is just kind of going along with it. He's just getting a paycheck basically, and you meet um, pretty early on. You meet the rest of the team. There's Barrett, who's this big dude. He's got a gun strapped to his arm, which he's pretty cool. But he's also kind of like, I don't know how I feel about him. Like, obviously, like, he's just looking for Cloud to prove himself before I think he don't think he'll ever soften up, but definitely he'll appreciate Cloud more, I think. But also, Cloud's kind of a jerk too. I'm not gonna lie. Like right now, Cloud's not my favorite person. Um, but yeah, you meet Barrett, you meet Cloud, and who you'll play as in the majority of the game, I believe. Um, and then there's Jessie. She's one of the other members, and she has a little flirtatious relationship going on with Cloud, and Cloud doesn't seem to be that into it, but I'm not sure. Um, and then I can't remember the other two guys' names. I think one of them's a Wedge, but I cannot for the life of me remember the other guy's name. But you meet them, um, and you pretty much go right into the action. Like you jump off this train, they tell you where you're going, they run off, and it's your job to fight these soldiers that just came up. And the the combat is really fun. At first it's like, oh, this is going to be easy. It's just going to be hack and slash. Just use your abilities if you want to make it look cool for a little flavor. But um, as I've played more, that's definitely not the case. You have as you go through, you fight through the city of Midgar to get to this Mako. I'm gonna say Mako. I like Mako better. You head to this facility, and you're fighting along the way, and eventually Barrett joins your party, and you can play as him, or he can kind of just be in the background supporting, and you can use his abilities um, to help you out and support you, um, and it's actually really cool. Like there's mechanics in it where there are things specifically that can damage each opponent differently, and or like they're more affected to, and then you can as you fight them, you can get them to feel a little more pressured in the fight, and then eventually you can stagger them so where it basically just gets stunned, and you can just unload and just deal some crap ton of damage to them. Um, like I said, the first area is not too. The first chapter basically is this, and um, most of the fights are pretty easy. There's a boss fight near the end of this first chapter that's relatively challenging, but it's not super hard. Um, and I'm struggling to remember chapter two because I think most of it was just on a train and kind of getting introduced to where you were going and where you were gonna go stay and stuff. Um, but you go back to the Sector 7, I believe, is what it's called. Like basically undercity of the city called Midgar. And there you meet. I forgot some of the most important parts. Like as you were trying to escape the facility, that's what happens in Chapter 2. As you're trying to escape through the city, it's kind of in turmoil now because the I'm get what I'm gathering. The president of a company named Shinra, he ordered to after the bomb detonated that you set in this facility. Um, After it detonated, the president of this company order for them to basically make it explode even more and make it look like it was a lot worse than it actually was. Um, and so you escape this facility and you're running through the city. And you meet. Um, I don't think you know her name in the game yet. Like you're not supposed to, but I think her name's Aerith from what I've gathered from other Final Fantasy VII stuff. And I know there's a spoiler about her later in the game. I won't spoil it until it happens. And I guess I should have said, yeah. There's gonna be some spoilers in this. I'll make sure to put that disclaimer before or something. I don't know. If you're watching a gaming review channel, you shouldn't be. Yeah, you expect some spoilers. Anyway, um, so you meet this girl, and she has flowers, which I guess are not a common thing anymore because the planet is being drained of its life. It was, it's what I've gathered. Um, you meet her, and she's seeing these like invisible, like cloaked figure things. They're kind of weird. And Cloud, during this time, he's kind of been having like little like weird headache flashback things, and he keeps seeing this guy. I don't know anything about him, um, but he's this long-haired dude. I'm assuming the antagonist of the game, or he will be later on. But it sounds like from the little dialogue we've had that he killed Cloud's mother and attacked his small town and like destroyed it from what I can glean from this. But he's seen him a few times and it's been pretty intense. But eventually you get out of the city or out of the sector 8 of the city and you go back down to the slums, um, to this bar called Seventh Heaven where you meet Tifa. I like her so far. She's seems like a pretty good character, and it's she's part of this group called Avalanche. But last thing I played was that she didn't seem to be all that into it and anymore. Like she's having second thoughts about what they're doing. But Tifa, from what I gathered, she was a childhood friend of Cloud. Um, and I'm sure as I go along, things will be revealed a little bit more. But um, she's there helping Cloud out. That's what you do through most. That's what you've done through most of the third chapter. I'm not done with chapter 3 yet. Um, but she helps him get established in the slums as a mercenary, so that people will hire him and to do jobs and things. Um, and the last thing I remember, well, yeah, like you do all sorts of jobs, and you get. What I like a lot about it is there is kind of an upgrade system to the weapons and things as you go along. You can spend points to upgrade them, like damage wise, give yourself more health, all that stuff. And you go through the game getting little like orbs called materia, which give you different access to different like spell casting abilities. I didn't know that it was called spells, but it's like, yeah, like there's one that's for ice, there's one that's for fire, there's one that's for healing, um, and it's really fun. Like it's really interesting. You can kind of play around with like different combinations of things, and different characters will eventually do uh, different combos that will take down enemies faster. And I'm really excited to keep going. Where I left off was Jesse just brought me a summoning materia, which I haven't used yet. But in exchange, she wants help with doing something, doing some sort of job for her, and that's where I left off. So, but yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. Um, and I'll keep posting things as I go along and posting my thoughts about the game. But for now, I'll just leave that there. And thank you guys so much for watching. And C Jarvis 32 signing off. Have a good one.